Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the McConaughey at YouTube with another tank video review build. Haven't done one of these for a little while, but we'll slowly get into it. This is the German World War II E-100 paper Panzer. Paper Panzer meaning that it was potentially or most likely designed during the Second World War for manufacture and use in the war, but never really got a prototype or constructed or mass produced in any fashion whatsoever. The idea of the design was to make a universal tank that could take very similar parts and easier to repair and run, similar to the Soviet and American tanks. The E series had multiple sizes from the E25, 50, 75 and 100. The 100 is a super heavy tank, very similar to the Mouse, where the 25 were very light, quite similar to the Panzer 1 or 2, and the other two levels being your medium and heavy tank. Trumpeter is a Chinese manufacturer of kit. They do all sorts of goodies and have a fantastic reputation. This model comes with 4 runners, 3 hard components and a set of rubber tracks. The rubber tracks are more than you wish to be desired, very poor and difficult to use. Aftermarket alternatives are suggested, though can be worked with. The main hull parts are very fascinating. They utilize slide molding, and the detailing and texture is just spot on, and the fit is so nice. I did not have to use any putty whatsoever except for the barrels. It's just a case of thick glue and maybe a bit of sanding if it oozes out. The instructions were clear enough. The color guide was helpful and had decal placement and all the other bits and pieces. Straight off the bat, we work on the rear armor plate and put together the bottom half. Amazingly, the suspension and wheel assembly parts are molded into one spot. This is an absolute lifesaver in strength and integrity for the wheels to sit on, as well as that's being the most boring and tedious process. The wheels are quite big, so they're easy to chop up and clean up. The under wheels are all on the one single piece and are sandwiched together. Then you apply the second layer of wheels, the road wheels, the bits that pull the tracks and whatnot, and stick it all into place. The fitting of the wheels onto the mounting points is a tad loose. It is advised to use excess glue and then just allow it to sit for a period of time to fully harden, maybe a day. Try not to bowl it over in a very quick amount of time, as the rubber tracks are extremely difficult to add, as previously mentioned. They do not take to super glue too well, which is my usual method, and I crushed one of the wheels and bent the support. It's probably best to follow the instructions, pre-assemble and just wrap around, glue later. Definitely, if you try to do it in one go like me, ample amount of time is needed for drying. The wraparound couldn't fully be committed, though luckily, since the top of the tracks is covered by overhanging armor, that's not too bad. The hull snaps together and glues seamlessly, and everything starts to come back well together. Very buttery smooth detail. The cannon goes into 2 pieces. You don't have to apply that till much later, especially since it is another color according to the box art. And we go right into assembling the turret and adding extra excess details and bits. Because the cannon fits so well, I only needed to use a little bit of Mr. Dissolved putty, and a few hours later buff it back gently with very high grit sandpaper. Having a close look at this stage, the proportion and raised as well as scribe details is very lovely. Comes together quite nice. The last of the final smaller details, such as accessories, shovels, picks, or the usual is glued down by the choice of the modeler. There is very little leftover parts, a different bracket for the gun, and a couple of towing bits and pieces, and this leads to the construction being completely done. Besides the wait for the tracks to glue on, very quick process. Maybe only 2 hours of work. Everything was glued down, including the turret articulation, and the whole piece was airbrushed using Tamiya primer to check for any imperfections and get a nice adhesion of the paint, followed by a coat of Gyano oxidized red, which is the most likely historical and common primer used via tanks and armor in the real world setting. What is also very good for the light color of camouflage and whatnot is the use of pink, but in the way that if I was to spray badly and there is any protruding color, it's best for oxidized red to come through as a rust rather than grey primer, which is definitely not close to the mark. Silver is also an option. The gun was also masked off where it had the bare rust red look on the box art. Now I'm doing multiple tones of the camouflage colours, as we've got some light shading and we've got more than ample enough of surface detail to play with blending and paint. We start on the lower ends, low lights, with a darker stone yellow and work our way up to a much lighter, whiter sand colour. Maybe not 100% the most accurate, though very pleasing to look at. The green camouflage was hand done with a standard airbrush and outlined, then coloured in with a dark green, camouflage dark green, and then in the side armour bits and upper armour bits we freehanded a lighter green for colour modulation. With all of this airbrush practice I've been doing over the past few years in a few camouflage tanks, this has been the most pleasing finish I've been able to pull off. Mind you, the surface of this tank is quite huge, comparable to the mouse. It will be interesting to attempt this on a smaller model next time round. With all that airbrushing done, we hand painted the tank tracks, small details like shovels and pick ends and all that bits and pieces. It gave it a gloss coat, did all of our usual weathering in the manner of washes and inks and panel lines and all that jazz. In between that, decals were thrown in. The upper hull or turret, I put the standard German cross, and all around it, Girls and Panzer scheme. It's not a real tank, so we can definitely play with the World of Tank video game universe, as well as the universe from anime such as Girls and Panzer and the whole tournament thing and whatnot. Once that gave ample amount of time to dry, harden and mature, used SMS clear matte to matte it all down, and a process of pigment weathering utilising the Mr. Hobby weathering pencils, actual makeup pencils, the Tamiya weathering makeup set, MIG production pigments, and a bunch of bits and pieces, just very small light areas here and there to add a little bit of colour, chipping, detail, lines, edging, all that sort of stuff. And all of that again was sealed with another coat of matte. This is building definition with multiple methods of weathering just piling on top of each other for a nice light look. Not too heavy, but a natural wear and tear wheeling around day to day. And this is the finished result. Very happy. The build was only about 2 hours and the painting was done in around the same amount of time. About 2 to 3 hours, but it was when it got to the hand painting, the weathering, the washing, all that sort of thing, that was a little more time consuming. Each session wouldn't range any more than half an hour to 45 minutes, but it took a few days to layer it nicely and not rush. And taking time with this tank, though still being a very quick build in about 6 to 7 hours total, very pleased with the outcome. I think there's definitely a sign of improvement to some of my last more rushed and laid back builds. I think this approach can definitely be taken to 35th scale. A lot of that sort of stuff is a bit bigger, or around the same size as this model. The next kit I'm working on is also a camouflage build, and about half the size of this, and the one after that's a very tiny Japanese tankette that's also camouflaged. We will see if I can get a point fine enough on my airbrush and perform similar feats, as well as do the modulation in camouflage in such tiny lines or areas. Nonetheless, it's definitely worked out, and realistically can't be any more pleased or happy with the build. The feedback has also been fairly good as well. Thank you very much for watching. As always, until next time, stay tuned for further content. If you have any questions, requests, happy to hear them in the comment section. The description of the video normally has helpful sources, links to Facebook, and some other interesting bits and pieces that may be worth checking out. And we'll catch you guys next week. We are at least posting once to twice a week, and I definitely want to jump back into more armor content. See you later.